Hello, ladies! Welcome to Among the Lilies. This is a show for ladies who are tired of pretending and are ready to be real. I'm your host, Cameron Fradd, and in today's episode, I'm coming to you live from my soon-to-be in-studio office. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. In typical Cameron fashion, I'm showing it to you. This is not set up. Obviously, I know the lights are supposed to be like on me and I'm supposed to be sitting the other way. But you know what? We are ladies that are tired of pretending and are ready to be real. So I'm going to be really real with you and just tell you how my week's been, okay? And maybe the last 2 weeks. My plan was to have the studio office set up, right? And I've been working on it. And thank you so much to all my Patreon members. You're the reason that this equipment's been bought and that I'm almost going to set it up. It's in the process of being set up, but it's not done yet because of the week that I've had, okay? So let me tell you a little bit about my week. So in the past week and a half, I have done, so it was 3 ER visits in 1 week, five ER visits in a week and a half. So that's just kind of been my life. ER visits. I know I've done a video before talking about just like when you're in the wars and like life's just crazy. I was talking to a friend of mine, like, what are you and Matt doing that you're like so attacked right now? And I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even know that we're doing anything. I have something exciting and amazing happening this time next year. So I don't know if that's it. We may be planning a really awesome trip that I want y'all to come on, but we're not talking about it yet. So go over, if you're one of the Patreon members, I'm going to try to write a post today or tomorrow for it. But okay, let me start off with, we're about 2 weeks out from this. So it all happened within a week and a half, but my health just tanked and my stomach, I had major issues again. And it basically, things just got really bad. I'll spare you all the details, but I just was really, really sick and I couldn't do anything to get myself healthier. So I had to go to Cleveland Clinic. And it fell on a day that Matt had like a really big interview and that he also was supposed to be giving a talk here locally. And so my wonderful, amazing neighbor drove me. I texted her and I was like, hey, Cindy, I don't know what you're up to. You know how you've been wanting to hang out? So do you want to drive to Cleveland Clinic? And while we're there, we could just stop in the ER and see if they can make me feel better. And she had a catering job the next day and she's just so wonderful and beautiful. And so she took me. I had other people that pitched in to help get my kids to and from gymnastics, and community is huge. Like we all desperately need community. And I know I've done videos on community, but just community is amazing. So I had an ER visit for me. And then I think they gave me a bunch of stuff to come home, but then I was kind of really sick, just in bed for about a week, not functioning. The first day that I felt like I could kind of function, I had friends over. I had some Salt sisters, for any of you that are familiar with the Salt community. They're amazing and beautiful. And I knew, so the funny thing is their names are Sister Caritas and Sister Claire. But to my family, it's Sister Chia Seed and Sister Kiara. So my Kiara nicknamed Sister Caritas, like I think it was probably, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. It was pre-COVID times and we're at a Sikh conference and I got like food from the speaker's lounge, which is oftentimes nicer than the food that most everyone else gets, like the standard boxes. And my kids hung out at certain tables and the Salt booth was one of them that my kids really enjoyed. So I had my 2 girls with me. I want to say they were like maybe 7 and 11 at the time. Or maybe 6, and so around that age bracket. And so certain tables, we had friends that like worked for Augustine Institute and, Chastity Project. And so our kids know certain people, right? And so those booths like had my phone number because our kids don't have phones. And so it's like, call me if you need anything. So this particular time they were hanging out with the Salt sisters and I brought I brought extra food from the speaker's lounge and Sister Caritas really liked chia seeds. And so it was like a chia seed pudding. And so Kiara's like, wait, you're eating chia seeds and your name's Sister Chia Seed? And she's like, no, or Sister Chia? And she's like, no, it's Sister Caritas. And my daughter was like, And she's like, say Sister Cara. And she's like, Sister Chia Seed. And so she became Sister Chia Seed. And then I think Sister Claire just became Sister Chiara, because Chiara is Italian for Claire. So we had these sisters over, which are beautiful, amazing. We're chatting. This is like my first day. And I knew that if I didn't feel well, they would be okay. And I told them, I'm like, I've been having stomach issues. Like if I need to run in the middle of lunch or whatever, like I knew they'd be understandable. I feel like if you wait to host when you're really ready to host like this, I shouldn't be having a podcast backwards because I'm using the natural light coming in because I don't know how to work my own lights yet. And my studio's not set up. That's my rug over there. But look, isn't this a cute bench? Cute bench and some comfy pillows, and I have a bunch of other stuff that is over there that I haven't gotten set up. So you shouldn't technically start having a podcast and talking with people until like you're ready. But I would never be doing it. So that's why I've been doing it with y'all through Matt's office, through random hotel rooms or wherever I am, and I happen to have my phone and recording. So this was me having sisters over because I wasn't really ready for guests. But first day, feeling good. We're chatting, hanging out. The sisters are sharing their lovely testimonies with my kids, and one of my kids yells, "There's a bat." I'm like, what do you mean there's a bat? A bat showed up in our sitting room. So we're in the dining room, it's in the sitting room. And so Matt's trying to convince the kids to catch a bat. And I was like, oh gosh, guys, put on gloves or use a tea towel or a sheet. And so we're like grabbing stuff to all trying to chase a bat. So we're all kind of giggling and trying to catch this bat. And the sisters are like, we're going to stay here. We don't want to be part of catching a bat. Well, my daughter, Avila, is amazing. And she actually caught the bat. But she had a tea towel. And when she caught the bat's ugly head was hanging out of the towel. And so was her thumb. And so she got bit by a bat on the thumb, which was not great. So we finished our conversation with the sisters. And one of the sisters, I think it was Sister Caritas, looked it up and it's like, yeah, okay. I'm like, we'll clean it out. We'll use hydrogen peroxide. And she's like, Cameron, maybe if you want to look at what I Googled about bat bites. And I was like, oh, crap. Whoa! Oh, gosh, this window. I get startled easily. And this window, my friggin' painter, God bless him. Lord bless Landon for leaving me stranded. This window blows open sometimes and it scares me and I yell and scream. But he was supposed to put my storm windows back up and never did. So this window randomly blows open on me. I'm gonna have to fix it before I really start recording these because I get startled and jump and scream. So praise you, Jesus. Sister Caritas shows me the thing, and the number one concern is rabies, and it's like seek medical attention. I was like, okay, I'm gonna deal with this in a minute. We kind of finish our chat. I call my nurse friend. She's like, yeah, you need to bring her in. I'm like, really? Like, it's Sunday. Can I wait till tomorrow? And she's like, call your doctor online, or like your, whatever, the after hours clinics for your doctor. So I call and the nurse says the same thing. You need to get her to the ER. Like, okay. I'm like, is it something I can wait till tomorrow? They're like, if you show I'm like, should I watch her for symptoms? And they're like, once you show neurological symptoms for rabies, you're dead. Like, there's no coming back. I'm like, all right, I'm taking her in. And our hospital in town doesn't have the best reputation. So I drove her into Pittsburgh to Children's, and they were great. They got her in right away. She had to get a rabies vaccine and then also rabies antibodies. So this was hospital visit number 2. So this is my first day kind of functioning. I still had a hot water bottle pack on my stomach because I still was in pain. So it's like, all right, we got this. We drive in, get her seen. Turns out we have to go back to the hospital. So day 0, day 3, day 5, day 7, day 14. So there's lots of rabies shots she has to get. And so that accounts for some of my other ER visits. So within 2 weeks, I think it's 7, 8, it'll be 9 ER visits. So it's just kind of been a crazy week. And then I kind of felt like I almost recovered from that trip. I was exhausted. The very next day, I slept in because I was just beat from being at the emergency room with my daughter who got bit by a bat, and just was sleeping. And so went from like dead asleep to my daughter waking me up saying, Mom, wake up, quick. Liam's been in a wreck, and Liam's been in a wreck on Dad's bike. He's in the middle of the road. And I'm like, oh gosh. So, as moms, we just worry, right? And so it's like, oh gosh, all the worst case scenarios in your head. I jump out of bed, I'm in my pajamas, and I run out my front door and I start running down the street because I don't know where he is. but my daughter took off that direction, so I'm headed that direction. Another neighbor kid meets me and says, my mom says, go back and get the car. You got to take him to the ER. Okay. So I get the car, drive down, praise God. Like, God is so good. So even though this is me sharing my craziness and why I haven't got my office set up, it really is, oh, gross. There's like a wasp on the floor. It really is like, God is so good. So even though it was crazy situations, we have a neighbor who works for Vagabond Ministry, and they were in front of their house, and her mom happens to be an ER nurse. Well, here, I'll take you from, okay, so I go down the street. I'm like, which way do I tell this story? So I go down the street. This is just like, even in like horrible moments, like I feel like, I don't know if any of you are, those of you that are my age will totally get it. Like our pets' heads are falling off, like everything's going wrong. Dumb and Dumber reference, but it's like everything's wrong. Like, and our pets' heads are falling off. What the heck? And that's kind of how I felt in this moment. I'm like, oh my goodness, everything's going wrong. I had an ER run, and then Avila had an ER run. Who gets bit by a bat? Like, do you know anyone? Please write in the comments if any of you have ever been bit by a bat or know someone that's been bit by a bat. I texted my family and they're like, what the heck? What are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. So get down the street to seeing Liam on the side of the road, and like a crowd of people around him. So people have stopped their cars, and there's someone there on the scene. I'm like, okay, let me look at it. And she's like, I'm pretty sure it's broken. We got to take her in. I was like, okay, well, if I look, and she's like, I'm an ER nurse. And I was like, oh, okay. She's like, I'm on my way in right now to West Virginia. If you follow me, I'll get him seen. I'm like, okay. And my same neighbor that brought me to the ER for me said, Cameron, do you want me to drive you? And I'm like, no, I'm okay. She's like, did you just wake up? I'm like, yeah, and I'm in my pajamas. She's like, let me take you. And I was like, okay, thank you. So she jumps in the car. We drive to the ER. I'm going to back up to like when the wreck actually happened, and then I'll go forward in the story. So because it's just, God is so good. God is so good. And there's no coincidences. People that are like, wow, that was such a coincidence. No, there isn't. Like, I'm sorry. I don't believe in coincidences. They don't exist. I have a friend that calls them God incidences. And I know I can hear my teenage son telling me right now, Mom, that is so cheesy. Yeah, it is super cheesy, but I'm sorry. There's more, I'm more comfortable with a God incidence than a now I can't even talk. So my friend down the street that works for Vagabond Ministries, so Meg's mom, so they were out on their front porch, and her son, I guess, is really particular about grilled cheese sandwiches and really wants, I guess the grandmother a couple doors down makes better grilled cheese sandwiches than the mom. Who knew that grilled cheese was so particular? But the mom was supposed to work like 2 hours earlier. The doctor's office or the hospital called her, and they're like, you know what, we're really slow, just come in 2 hours late. So she was in her car getting ready to leave, and then this grandson really wants grilled cheese. And the mom's like, don't worry about it, Mom, it's not a big deal. So my friend Meg's like, Mom, it's not a big deal, I can make him one. She's like, no, I'll do it. She gets out of her car, goes into her house, makes a grilled cheese sandwich, walks it down the street to my friend Meg's house, hands the grilled cheese sandwich to the little boy. Meg says, oh, there goes Liam Fradd on the electric bike. So Liam just came out of her mouth, and then they see Liam eat it. So I guess a friend of Liam's rode Matt's bike, and a piece of the bumper got a little broken. And so the bumper, like when Liam went to turn to cross the street, the bumper got the wheel and it threw him off the bike. And it's an electric bike, so he was going kind of quick. So he got thrown off the bike. And so the nurse ran there, my friend Meg, they were right there, and she's like, okay, get me something to make a splint. Any of you that have to make a splint for anyone, you should make it out of cardboard, because you don't have to take it off when you get x-rayed. True fun fact. So there was a pizza box that they turned into a splint for Liam, made a splint on his arm, put ice packs on top of it. So like if that 2-year-old or 3-year-old, I don't know how old her youngest is, didn't want a grilled cheese sandwich in that moment, this nurse would not have been on the scene to see to my son. So yes. Oh, come here. You can come in. I'm recording, so just sit here and don't say anything for a minute, okay? And then we'll talk. And so this is my son, Peter. So I'm sitting there, and we, in one moment, let me just finish my podcast, okay? You can talk in 1 minute. We'll talk about something you want to talk about. So my son, Liam, messed up arm. but so it was stressful, right? It was stressful going through it all, but this nurse was so amazing and beautiful. And like, as soon as I checked in, she's like, I was on scene, I'll take it from here, you know? And I wanted to bring her flowers. I need to bring something over to her to thank her. But it's just kind of been one of those weeks, right? And so things have just been crazy. And so I haven't set the office up, but this will be my recording studio, right, Peter? What did this room used to be?
Avalos and Kayla's room.
Yeah, and what's it going to be now?
Podcast room.
Yep, a podcast room. So it is super fun. Oh, and then another big thing we had going on this week.
Bees.
You tell them.
So we had bees, and
Whose bees are they?
mine. And we got lots of honey, like 24 pounds. And then we had a thing. We started. And then
The Hans lent us their extractors. So you put what do you call those slats that go in the beehive?
flames.
Yeah, you put the frames. What did we have to do with the frames?
We need to put them in. We spin it, and all the honey comes out. And then you open the thing, and then can I go get the honey?
Sure, yeah, you can go get the honey and show them the honey. So we extracted honey from his bees, and it was super fun. The Hans lent us their extractor, and then we have a friend that came and helped us. And so as this is going on, I also have guys at my house that are our dining room and kitchen. We have a tiny, tiny kitchen, and so they're breaking down walls between our dining room and our kitchen. Do you like how in the beginning I knew to like block that light back there, but now as I'm talking, I'm like, it's just a big hot mess. So yeah, so it's been a busy week. He can show you his honey, but it's been really beautiful just to see how good God is, that he provides everything from this guy who's come to help harvest the honey to good workers that are ripping apart our house and this wall, and to a nurse that happens to be on the scene of my son getting in a wreck. Like, if he had wiped out on that bike anywhere else, like, he rides it downtown. He rides it to the other side of the hill. Like our street's amazing and beautiful, and most of the people on the street know our kids, at least. I don't know that they all know us, but they know our kids because they're always riding their bikes or going for walks. And I don't know, it's just really blown away by people's generosity and beauty. Yeah, I posted a video on Instagram. I'll see if I can put it up on here. We have this thing called First Fridays, or Fridays on 4th. I've heard it as both. But so after the craziness of the week, we had this downtown kind of like festival. They open everything. Oh, you want to show? Oh, wow, you got the big one.
We got even more honey.
Yeah, so this is one of...
Oh my God, it's heavy.
Yeah, that's heavy. That's really heavy, honey. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? So this is one of our liquid gold jars. Do you like honey? Yeah.
That's why I got these.
That's why you got bees. Yeah, and his bees work really, really, really hard. All right, any fun facts you want to tell us about the bees before we wrap up the podcast? Or anything you'd like to say to my listeners?
Hi.
Hi, you're live, so they can see you now. Look, 6 people gave you thumbs up because they're enjoying you. How else has this week been for you, with all the craziness of all the ER runs and the great getting the honey and...
Yeah, and the bees, so when they have a new queen, they split. The beehive split, so half of them leave, and then the rest stay. That's what happened to our beehive.
That's true, yeah. And what's that called? Is that called swarming?
Swarming?
Yeah, when the bees swarm.
It's like a tornado of bees.
Yeah, and then what did Justin the bee guy do with the... Oh, tell him about how many... Was it 10 of those queen cells? Okay, so our bee guy who's helping us learn the ropes, who's been teaching Peter and Matt and I guess he's been educating all of us with the bees. He found, I think it was like 10 different queen cells is what I think they're called.
Yeah, queen cells.
Yeah, queen cells. So they would have kept going if they have that many queens that survive. So the queens will try to kill each other, because how many queens are you allowed per hive?
1.
Yeah, only 1. And what if another queen shows up? What do? They either split and swarm. Yeah, 10 thumbs up. Yeah, and then 24 people are watching right now. That's that number. Isn't that neat? Peter's been interested in podcasts lately. And so, yeah, it's kind of fun that he walked in, so got to be on the podcast. But I wanted to give you a sneak peek of my soon-to-be studio office. So hopefully next episode, if not next episode, then the episode after, I will have my studio set up. And and I just want to thank all of you patrons that make this happen. I really, really, really appreciate it. I'm super excited. I have so many wonderful girls. I just went on Matt's show today. He was interviewing someone. He invited me on, and the lady was so lovely. I had such a good chat with her. But it really makes me look forward to having more girls on, because I feel like that. Hey, someone's saying hi from the Czech Republic.
What's that?
That's another country. And they're saying hi to you. Isn't that cool? You say hi?
Hi.
Hi back. Do you want to tell them where we're going next year?
To Florida.
Well, that's in the winter. We're going to Florida. But do you remember how we said we were going to go to another country?
What's it called? France.
France. Yeah, we're going to go to France next year. It's going to be exciting. If you want to come with us, look for details coming out soon. And do you remember who all we're going to see? Saint Therese of Lisieux, and the Miraculous Medal, Saint Catherine Laboure.
Hi.
We're going to see her nuns. Saint Catherine Laboure is a saint, so she's in heaven. But the nuns that made the Miraculous Medal, where's your Miraculous Medal? He normally has one that the nuns actually made, which is super cool. They still make the Miraculous Medals, and see some other awesome, amazing saints. And so if you're interested, be on the lookout, because we have exciting news about our France trip. So it'll be really, really good. But I just want to thank my patrons again for making this happen. It's happening, and I'm so excited to do in-person interviews again, because it's fun to have Peter on, and I'll probably have him back on again when it's all set up. But then I'll have other amazing, wonderful ladies for you to chat with. So thank you so much for your patience with me. We would love to go to Croatia. She's in Croatia. Isn't that cool? Anyhow, thank you so much. Write comments below, more topics that you want me to cover, and then more guests that you want me to have on the show. Feel free to write them in the comments below, and I'm going to get a list, and we're going to get it going. Great question. You have a question, Peter. Are you ready? Okay. How difficult was it for you to start a bee farm? Was it difficult in the beginning?
Yeah,
Kind of. What did you have to do?
I needed to. What did I do?
Dad and you bought the boxes.
So we bought the boxes, and then we got a hammer and we built a frame. And look.
Yep, you built the frame. Hi from Italy.
Oh, that's hi. Fun. We were hammering it, and then we put the frames apart. And we need to do all of that, and
yeah, but we had it done probably in what, an hour?
No, like a week.
Did it take a week to do it? Oh, because some of them fell apart. They got like a fancy one where it's like, I forget, do you remember what it's called? You're supposed to turn a key and the honey just comes out. It's a flow hive, I think, and it's supposed to be really easy. That didn't work, so we kind of went with the traditional. It works, but it's not. You put the key in, turn it, and it comes out.
And we have beehive, and then it's windows, and then you can see
Yeah, you can open up the windows and look in and see, which is really fun. And then we just put the bees in, and then tell them about the queen, how she was in that little container.
Oh, I want to go get it.
Okay, you want to go get it?
I still have it.
Okay, well, we can show you. The queen's in something, and then the other bees eat through to get the queen out. So apparently the episode's going to go a little bit longer. I was going to wrap it up. Welcome to Among the Lilies. We're just being real with our guests that just happened to pop over.
There was a screen right here, but it broke somehow.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this is neat. So this had something that was sweet.
It was a marshmallow.
Was it a marshmallow? Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. And the queen lived in here. And do you remember what you called the queen? Docile. So the queen was called Docile because when the bee guy was helping us put the bees in, he said, they're all being kind of docile right now. And Peter said, ooh, I like that. Queen Docile. And then the other bees eat away at this as the queen's on the inside eating away. And then they let her free. And then she's in the hive and she starts doing her business and laying all the eggs, huh? Isn't that neat? Thank you very much.
And it's wax around it.
Yeah. Well, Peter, thank you so much for being on the podcast with me. Could you say like and subscribe?
like and subscribe.
And then what's the name of this podcast?
Lilies.
Among the Lilies. Thank you for watching and listening. All right. God bless. Bye-bye.
Wait, das